All righty. Okay. So today I thought we would mix it up a little bit more. That whole like activation of the serratus allows you to do amazing things. Um, and then um, yeah, we'll do that and we'll get moving today. A little bit more movement um, instead of just strength. Maybe we'll combine the two. I don't know. We'll find out. All right. I think you guys can see me, right? Yeah, let me scoot my mat back a little further. Right, there we go. Okay, let's start onto our back. I think most of us are already on our back anyway, so let's start onto our back, hugging the knees into the chest. It is a chilly morning today. I don't know what happened to all of the warm sunshine, but that's okay. At least it's not too hot. So spreading the shoulder blades out wide onto the mat, hugging your knees into the chest, rocking from side to side. Go ahead and take the legs up to the sky, point and flex the toes, circle out the ankles. So we're warming up the quads and the hamstrings. And then taking our legs out into a V. You can use the hands on the inner thigh to kind of help massage and warm up your inner thighs. Then roll the legs externally rotated. Yeah, external rotation. So roll the legs out. And then press the low back into the mat. So here we should be in an anterior pelvic tilt because essentially we're in a pike, right? We're in a straddle pike position. So we're in an anterior pelvic tilt. And then press the low back into the mat and can you get into a posterior pelvic tilt to bring your toes closer to your ears or to your forehead. You can take your hands down by your side. Exhale, anterior pelvic tilt. So you're still activating and utilizing your inner thighs, but you're incorporating the anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. So posterior pelvic tilt, using your low belly, your low rectus abdominis. Exhale, anterior pelvic tilt. And notice how the engagement of the muscles in your inner thighs change as you go through this range of motion in your hips and bringing the legs together. Cross the right over the left. Right over the left, drop the legs over to the right. Take your arms out into a T. Oh, and gentle twist onto your low back. Oh, opening that left pec. Inhale and coming back up to center, crossing the left over the right, and then dropping your knees over to the left. Oh. And inhale, back to center. Rocking up to seated, rolling your shoulders back and down, coming into all fours. Spreading the fingertips wide and really activating through your pressing down through your knuckles. So we're pressing down through this part, like right where the finger meets your palm, those knuckles right there. We want to press down into that. And we're always doing our eagle claw, which is the finger pads are pressing down onto the mat. You see the finger pads are going to press down into the mat. And let me use a block so you can see this. Right, we haven't talked about this in a while, but I hope you're all doing this, right? So like when you're pressing down, I'm pressing down on my finger. This would be the mat. I'm pressing down on my finger pads, but is that the first knuckle? The first knuckle is pulling up. So it's not so much, but I just want to over exaggerate so that you can see, right? My knuckle is pulling up, that first knuckle of the finger, but I'm pressing down onto the mat. Okay, so coming to all fours and really engaging. That automatically engages your upper back muscles. I'm going to barrel roll, so big round rolling through the rib cage. So dropping the chest down at the bottom of the barrel, squeeze the shoulder blades together, tailbone up towards the sky. And then as you barrel roll up, you're doming, you're separating your shoulder blades as much as you can. And then you roll down right at the bottom, at the 6 o'clock, at the bottom of the barrel. You're squeezing your shoulder blades together. And as you push up at the top of the barrel, You're separating your shoulder blades down. Now, as this is happening, your shoulder blades are pulling down your back. Right, so we don't want to be shrugged, shoulders up here. Once your shoulders are by your ears, you have no access to your serratus anterior at all. So we want to make sure that we're keeping our shoulder blades down, our back, active. When we're at the top, we'll change directions in our barrel roll. So keep going in your barrel roll, we're changing directions. And then at the top of the barrel roll, we want to press down into the heel of the hand. So the heel of the hand is here. If we press down into the heel of the hand, that's going to help us activate our serratus anterior. That's going to help us in all of any kind of movement that we're on our hands, especially those that require our serratus anterior. So continue to barrel roll. Can you get that activation into the heel of your hand? And keeping the shoulder blades pulling down your back. So imagine you were squishing oranges underneath your armpits. And then tuck the toes and lift the hips, downward facing dog. And so in down dog, can you not shrug your shoulders by your ears? Can you draw them down your back, which is up, right? Because we're upside down. Can you press into the heel of the hand? Can you claw the mat and can you externally rotate your hands? So when anytime I'm on my hands are feeling like they're externally rotated. They're not going to move, but that's the sensation. Because once you externally rotate them, that immediately turns on your serratus. So that's what we're going to focus on today, which is pressing into the heel of the hand, external rotation. The shoulders have to be attached to your shoulder blades have to be attached and going down your back. Inhaling, right leg comes up towards the sky. Swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhaling, slowly coming up, all the way up. And close the pose. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Pressing, so in high plank, press into the heel of the hands, lower down knees. Press into the heel of the hands. Heel of the hands activates your serratus anterior. Pressing into the heel of the hands, pull the shoulder blades down your back, like squish the oranges, and then lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up towards the sky. Now, if this bothers your wrist, then just do everything on your knuckles. Left foot into the hand, and between the hands, runner's lunge. Look up, back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhaling all the way back up, floating arms up towards the sky. And close the pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands behind the head. Press the elbows way back behind you. And then you're going to lift the chest up towards the sky. Squeeze the inner thighs. Just open up. And you want to grow taller, right? We're not back. Well, the byproduct is back bending, but our goal is to squeeze our inner thighs and lift our chest up towards the sky. Neutralize through the spine. Close the pose. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, plant the hand, step the right leg back. Drop the right knee down. Inhale. Forward, up, and back. Open up the arms, goalpost arms. Oh, now reach the arms back into a big V. Press the right hip forward, left hip back. Neutralize through the spine. Windmill the hands down. Come into all fours. We're on our hands. We're on our hands a lot in yoga. So we're going to press into the heel of the hands. We're going to draw our shoulder blades down. And we're going to wrap our shoulder blades around like that doming. We're going to keep the shoulder blades separated. So if the shoulder blades squeeze together, we lose the activation of the serratus anterior. So we need to keep the shoulder blades spread apart as we lower down into knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. So keep the shoulder blades separated and come forward. I'm going to lower down nice and slow, but I want to keep the shoulder blades separated. Inhaling cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, right leg comes up towards the sky. Swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Drop the back knee down. Inhale, forward. Up, back, open. Goalpost arms. Press it back into a V. Hands together, neutralize through the spine, plant the hands down, pop the back knee off the mat, back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhaling all the way back up. And close the pose. Tricep stretch on the right side. So we're going to bend the right elbow, crawl the right fingertips down your back. We're going to circle out and kind of wake up or get the cobwebs out of our right shoulder. Elbow into the left hand presses down to the elbow, crawl the right fingertips down your back. You're in a tricep stretch. You're using the back of the head to press the elbow back even more. Pressing your right hip forward. Now side bend over to the left. Stomp your right foot down and feel the stretch on your right side body. Inhale, neutralize through the spine and close the pose. Okay, now I'm getting warm. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhaling halfway up, exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back, drop the back knee down. Inhale. Forward, up and back. Take goalpost arms. Send the arms back into a V. Left hip forward, right hip back. Inhale, neutralize through the spine, plant the hands down, come into all fours. Guess what? We're on our hands, pressing through the heel, squeeze the oranges, shoulder blades spread apart and down your back. So we're going to come forward into supported plank. We're going to lower down slowly, elbows bend behind you, not out to the side like chicken wings. Elbows bend down, keeping the shoulder blades separated. Inhaling up, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back, down facing dog. In your down dog, right, when we're pressing back into down dog, you press through the heel of the hand, external rotation. So that's all we're going to focus on today. Heel, pressing into the heel of the hand, external rotation in your arms. Inhaling, left leg comes up towards the sky, swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Drop the back knee down. Forward, up and back. Exhale, open up the arms, goalpost arms. Find that V. Really feel that stretch. I'm feeling it all the way down into my psoas, my hip flexor. That's being pulled, that attaches onto the inside of the spine. Inhale. Windmill the hands down, pop the back knee off the mat, back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale. All the way up. Tricep stretch on the left side, side bend over to the right. And so we are elbow into the hand into the elbow on the left elbow bent. Pressing back. Yeah, so using the back of the head, press it back as you send your chest forward. And then side bend over to the right. Stomp on your left foot. Inhale, neutralize through the spine and shake it out. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway up, flat back, anterior pelvic tilt. Exhale, forward fold. Step the right foot back. Right hand down. We're pressing into the heel of the hand. Right hand down, heel of the hand. Inhale. Runner's lunge twist. We're pressing into the heel of the hand. You're squeezing the orange underneath your right armpit. You're externally rotating through your right arm. Feel how just a simple runner's lunge actually requires quite a bit of engagement. Big backstroke on the left side to really open up and find mobility in that left shoulder. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to take side plank. So we're going to step our left foot to our right, focusing on pressing into the heel of the hand and external rotation. Heel of the hand, external rotation, side plank. Feel how your oblique turns on much more for 4. Yeah, 3. Yes, dear. We got another hour, babe. 2. And 1. Okay, lower the left hand down into high plank. Whew. Now we're pressing into the heel of both hands, Keeping your shoulder blades separated. You can either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling. Oh, up dog. So here in your up dog, can you pull the hands back in external rotation? Right, pull the hands back, pressing into the heel of the hand, external rotation, and really get your shoulder blades going down your back, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Can you maintain your shoulder blades pulling down your back towards your tailbone as you go into down dog? Inhaling, right leg comes up towards the sky, swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Back foot to the top of the mat, chair pose. So squeeze the inner thighs together, reaching the arms over the ears. Tuck the tailbone, lift the chest. For 3, 2, draw the shoulder blades down your back. 2 and 1. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, open up through the chest. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhaling, halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step the left foot back. Runner's lunge twist. Left hand down. Left hand is directly underneath your left shoulder. We're pressing into the heel of the hand. Squishing the orange, twisting, finding runner's lunge twist. We're finding length. So between your right knee going forward, you find length in your left rib cage. Pressing into the heel of the left hand. External rotation through the left arm. Big back strokes in your runner's lunge. This should be very, very intense or engaging in your left oblique. In here for 3, 2, 1, and 1. Step it back. Step your right foot back into side plank. Pressing into the left heel of the hand, squeezing the orange. So it's super active. Right, my left hand is drawing towards my foot. External rotation, pressing into the heel. Side plank should be more intense for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 1. Lower the right hand down. Heel the hands. Separate your shoulder blades, draw them down your back as you lower down to chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Pressing into the heel of the hands. Tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. So even in down dog, our tendency is just want to pull our shoulder blades off our back and just kind of hang out and relax. But remember, we're pressing into the heel of the hands, equal claw. With your fingertips, pull the shoulder blades down your back and make sure they're separated. If they're separated, if they come together, we can't activate the serratus. Inhaling, left leg comes up towards the sky, swing it way forward, runner's lunge, back foot to the top of the mat, chair pose. Chair pose. So squeezing the knees and ankles together. Inhale, slowly coming up. Exhale, open up through the chest. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, high plank. Come into high plank. Pressing into the heel of the hands, separate the shoulder blades apart. Keeping them separate, squeeze the oranges. And slowly lower down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back. Downward facing dog. Separate the feet hips width distance apart if they aren't already. And we're gonna do a little turbo doggy push-up. So we'll start with bending the elbows, right? We'll start with bending the elbows. The elbows bend, not out, but directly under, and just hold. They're gonna hover the elbows off the mat, and you're just gonna hold. This is serratus. Heel of the hand, separating the shoulder blades. For 5, dome the shoulder blades. 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the arms back out. Inhaling, right leg comes up towards the sky. Swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Come on up, crescent lunge. Now, if you have your strap or a towel or a t-shirt or a sweater, you can take your strap right now. You just need a strap or something to hold on to. And shoulder, yes, you can use that shoulder width apart. Now you're gonna flip so that the, right, so I'm gonna hitchhike so the thumbs go out. Do you see this? Right, so I'm gonna hitchhike so the thumbs go out. And I'm just gonna pull. I'm just gonna pull this very light strap, and you're gonna feel it in your serratus. Like I'm trying to pull apart with my thumbs pointing out, my wrist pointing up towards the sky. For 4, 3, 2, I don't know if you, but I'm feeling it, and 1, release. Come forward to warrior 3, drop the strap, and fly into warrior 3. We're gonna come and straighten out our right leg. Focus on the right inner thigh. Use your belly and core to float the left leg off the mat. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left foot comes and meets the right. You can take chair, twist, over to the right. So left tricep to the outside of the right thigh, find that twist, pry the arms apart. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Float the left foot off the mat, squeeze the knees together, shoot the left leg back, land, press a lunge twist. Get deeper in your twist, pry the arms apart for 3, 2, and 1. Take the left hand down the inside. We've been here before, side plank. So press into the left, the heel of the left hand, right? Squeeze the orange, swing the right leg back, or you can drop your left knee down into supported side plank. Or take side plank tree, but you really have to press into the heel of the left hand, or these fingers to the right toes. Release, come down to high plank, press into the heel of the hands, squeeze the oranges, wrap the shoulder blades around your back, lower down. Keep the shoulder blades spread, inhaling up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Coming back into turbo dog. Turbo dog, remember we bend our elbows, elbows go in, not out. So this, we don't want this, elbows going out, we want elbows dropping straight down. That forces you to wrap your serratus anterior. So heel of the hand, shoulder blades spread apart. Squeeze the oranges. Now drop and lower and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press it back. Inhaling, left leg comes up towards the sky. Swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Grab your strap. Crescent lunge. We're going to take our strap. Same thing, palms face down, thumbs towards each other. Now we're going to rotate so that the palms face up. Now we're going to have this at 90 degrees. But we want to shrug our shoulders down, spread the shoulder blades apart, and pull the strap apart. And you're going to feel this. There's a lot of muscle work in your upper body and your shoulders and your serratus for 5, 4. So your elbows are 90 degrees. 3, your elbows are shoulder height. 2, and 1. Fly into warrior 3. Shift the weight forward. Pull the belly up and in. Square the right hip down. Reach down into warrior 3. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right foot meets the left in chair pose twist. So right tricep to the outside of the left thigh. Pry the arms apart for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Float, squeeze the knees together, float the right foot off the mat, and hold. Shoot the right leg back, come down into crescent lunge twist. You can always drop your back knee down. You're finding length in your right rib cage. Remember, it's never about doing any of the poses. It's really about doing what you can. And if you just simply show up, you will get stronger, no matter if you do one pose, no matter if you do 10 minutes or all 75 minutes of the class. You have no choice but to get stronger if you show up. So the hardest thing to do is really just to show up. Take the right hand to the inside of the left foot, side plank, press into the heel of the hand. External rotation in the right hand arm, swing it back. You can take supported plank, which is with your right knee down. You can take full side plank. You can take side plank tree, or you can take your peace fingers, find your left toes, but either way, you're pressing into the heel of the right hand for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the left hand down, high plank, pressing into the heel of the hands, separate the shoulder blades, dome. Now lower down, inhaling, up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes. Press it back, downward facing dog. Oh, notice how much deeper you can get into your down dog. Pressing into the heel of the hands, external rotation, shoulder blades drawing down and apart. Bend the elbows, hover, hold, turbo dog for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees down and sit in back child's pose. And breathe. You guys are doing awesome.
Mom,
Yes, dear.
you're Chinese.
Oh, that's very nice, Kiona. All right. Today is all about extra love to our serratus. So let's start with down dog to dolphin, dolphin. Actually, yeah, down dog to dolphin, dolphin, and down dog. So let's do that.
How do you do
Right.
that?
Coming into all fours.
Oh.
There you go. Coming into all fours. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, and we are in down dog. We are in super duper special down dog today because we are activating, pressing through the heel of the hands, separating our shoulder blades down our back. Our serratus is engaged. And we're going to come into dolphin. So there's a couple ways you can come into dolphin. If you can try to just lower the forearms all the way down until you're in dolphin. Don't push any. And you come into dolphin. Just hang on here. And then come back into down dog. Now if that's too much, we'll walk it back to, right, like maybe you have to plump, plump, plop, plop. Yeah, so maybe you have to plop one side down and then you plop the other side down into dolphin. But we're external rotation, pressing into the heel of the hand. That does not change. No matter what you do, pressing into the heel of the hand, external rotation. Right, and then maybe you plop up, you do one side up, and then you come the other side up. Right, or you know what, like that's too much. Maybe you drop your knees down, you drop your forearms down, and then you tuck the toes and you come back into dolphin. Now the most important thing is that your forearms are like train tracks and they don't cross like this. Yeah, the trains will collide. So you can use a spacer like a block to prevent you from doing that. So there's 3 different options that are all going to work on serratus. You're going to get stronger no matter which option you pick. Find the one that challenges you at the right level.
What do you mean?
Tuck the toes, lift the hips. You're not going to be able to go to Dr. Mike's if you don't want me to teach, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye, Kiona. So if you're here, heel of the hand, float yourself down into dolphin, float yourself up. So try like 5 rounds of that, whichever option you choose. Nice, Anjali. Look at that. Nice. I don't think you were doing that a couple weeks ago. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty awesome. Look at that. Just, it's like you're just, no biggie. I'm just going to float myself down a dolphin. Come on back up. That is awesome. I remember when you couldn't do that like a month ago. So, all right. So we got to keep moving the bar, right? So come on down. That was pretty, I think many of you, if not all of you, have been able to do something today that you weren't able to do a few weeks ago. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, but we got to keep moving the bar, right? Because we got to keep moving the bar up. Otherwise we don't get better. So dolphin to chaturanga, maintaining your elbows bent. And I literally think today is the first day I was able to do that after like 6 months or 9 months of training. So that's why we have to, keep plopping. So we'll start in dolphin. And we're going to keep our elbows bent and roll ourselves through to chaturanga and roll ourselves back into dolphin. So just try 3 times. We're going to roll ourselves through to chaturanga. And I think that's all I've gotten me. I think I got 3. 3 was like the max. Is all I can do. So just try. I think the first 3 months I tried, I was just like, yeah, I think I face planted the whole time. I was like, I don't understand. So just try. Just try. Dolphin. Float yourself forward. Into, yeah. That's it. Yeah. See? You surprise yourself. And then that's it. You got 1 in you. That's awesome. Okay. All right. So hold on, let me just close the door. So your serratus is on fire, it is on. It is awake. It has its shot of espresso. All right. We got to keep it, keep it challenged. So wherever you are at, you can either dolphin onto the mat, or if you have blocks, we're going to do floating dolphin. So the heel of the hand is on the edge of the block. Have we done? We might have tried this once, maybe. And so your hands are gripping, right? That eagle claw, pressing the heel of the hand. Heel of the hand's external rotation. That doesn't change. Heel of the hand, external rotation. And we're going to do dolphin where the elbows, right, are in line with the elbows are in line with the wrist. Let's see, we're floating, right? So that means we're going to, let me just show you, this has to really turn on. Ready? So you can start here in down dog. Down dog here with the heel of the hand on the edge of the block, you're gripping. So you really have to wrap your serratus anterior. So we can't see this, my shoulders are shrugged. So we can't have the shoulders shrugged. Our shoulder blades are engaged down the back, serratus, and then lower so that you're in a floating dolphin. And just hold here for 5. Or you can just do, if this is too much, then just do dolphin on your mat. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Yeah. So now let's move the blocks away. Let's do basic crow. Now, if crow is challenging, I don't know if you can. So the strap, so any of the things where we're doing crow or we're doing arm balances, especially with bent arm, anything, bent arm balances. So that's crow, any of the crow variations. You can have a strap, which makes your elbows at about, same distance, shoulder widths apart, and that can help you kind of with any of these. And that's kind of like the training wheels that we have. So most of you don't need this for crow. So we'll start with basic crow. I'm going to elevate a crow, and then we'll do crow floating down like on a glider plane. Right, so we'll just start out with basic crow. You will be surprised to see how your crow feels different. So come into your heels together, knees apart, walk the hands forward, kind of twist your low back into Malasana. Lift your hips, find the heel of the hand, find your external rotation, find the separation of your shoulder blades down your back. And can you have that all engaged before you even come forward into your crow? Look forward, Doris. Look forward. Forward, forward. Yeah, and so when you're in crow, your elbows bend, it makes a shelf. So we're not holding it with sheer strength. It's a balance. So we want to get our knees as high onto the tricep and the elbows bent. And that's how we're going to make our crow. Okay, so next, we're going to do crow. Do crow elevated onto blocks. You may need to also elevate your feet because it's going to be a little different, right? Because if you're here, you know, your feet are lower than you just kind of like climb on up, you know? So we do crow elevated onto blocks. We'll start with that. Remember, heel of the hand. We're pressing the heel of the hand. So if you're just working on crow, just remember, crow is about going forward, not down. Crow is about, it's really not about the legs. It's really about pressing into the heel of the hand. Start with the hips up high, and you want to get that knee as high into your armpits as possible, up the tricep. I think, yeah, so then you lift the heels and you go forward and you press into the heel of the hands, right? Okay, so now we've done blocks. So now we're gonna go for crow is learning how to descend. So what we want to do is we're working on strengthening our serratus. And our goal is when you're in crow on the blocks, you're going to bring your knees together. You're going to press so strongly into the heel of the hands that you are going to float your knees down onto the mat. Right? So you want to have your blocks so that they're wide enough so that your knees will fit in between. Right? So when you're done, you're here. Let's see. So you're pressing into the heel of the hand. Oh. And when you bring your knees together, you're floating down the best that you can versus crashing down, right? So if I didn't have my serratus on, my number one thing is really about pressing into the serratus as I come down. If I didn't press into the serratus, I would just crash down. Yeah? Does that make sense? So it really forces you to press down into your serratus. Right, so it's considered eccentric contraction because you're slowing yourself down against gravity. Let's see. That was the idea, Charlie. Right? You didn't crash down. You were able to slow yourself down in some. So go forward, Anjali, when you bring your knees together. Go forward so you don't fall backwards. But that's the idea, right? Awesome. Let's see. Right, Ashish, the serratus took a break. It went out for coffee. Yeah, you felt it. I saw it. I could see it. Right. it went out for coffee. So immediately, as soon as we brought our feet together or brought your knees together, the serratus turned off. And that's what happens. That's the best indication of what our serratus is doing when it's on versus not. So like we had to train ourselves not only for the strength of the serratus, but keeping it turned on through all movements in transition. And that's what makes it difficult, right? Because you have the strength. The strength is mostly, I mean, yes, we're going to get strong in our serratus, but like, it's really like 20% strength. And like, well, if we just kept the damn thing on, then, right, instead of like, it's not like 100% about increasing the strength of our serratus so that we can do a lot of these things. It's 80% of it is more about, well, if we just kept it on the whole time, we're going to get a power output that is higher, right? But we're not keeping it on the whole time. So that's why our power output is lower, not because of the fact that we don't have the instantaneous strength. All right. So I think everyone's serratus should be like really warmed up and turned on. Okay, let's go ahead and come into down dog. Lift the hips, tuck the toes, lift the hips, and we are in down dog. So your down dog should feel pretty different and amazing because your upper back is on fire. I mean, it's on, it's very active. Heel of the hands pressing down, external rotation. Oh, that's the other thing. Did you remember to externally rotate when you were in crow? Inhaling, right leg comes up towards the sky. Swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Drop the back heel down. Warrior two, we're going to take our strap. I'm going to flip around so I can see you guys and so you can see me. We're in warrior two. We're going to take our strap. We're going to take our strap and we're going to find our serratus anterior. Taking the strap or the t-shirt or whatever you've got, shoulder width distance apart, foot so that the palms are facing up, and you're just going to pull. Roll the shoulders back and down, separate the shoulder blades. You're just going to pull. That's your serratus. Your serratus is working to pull the strap apart. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, release, release. Going to reverse warrior. Right arm up towards the sky. As you reverse warrior, send the right knee forward. Internal rotation of the left leg. Reach up high and lengthen. Reach and lengthen. And then come down for a side angle. Notice the difference of you when you engage your serratus. Engaging all those muscles, even in our standing postures. Use the back of the right arm to twist against your right thigh. Find length, reach your left arm and a diagonal. So from your left fingertips to your left toes, you're reaching in opposite directions in tug of war. And windmill the hands down, drop the back knee down, tuck the right shoulder underneath the right knee. Walk the arms out, wide, wide, wide. Really find opening in that outer right hip. Hold on, dog's whining. You guys stay there. I'm gonna let the dog in. Come on, Wally. Come on in. Really, you're gonna go right where I need to be? Okay. So walk the hands out into T. Oh. Now, if you have a strap, you can take the strap behind your back. Right hand finds the strap. Left hand, so you have a strap behind you. Pull the strap apart and try to straighten the arms as much as you can. You're gonna get an opening in your inner right hip. And release, release, release. Now, you can, a couple of different options. You can stay here and get the arms wide into a T and just try to grip the crown of the head towards your right ankle. And if you're good with this, you can just hang out here and really just open up that right hip. Or you can go for Kundanyasana 2, flying splits. This is a bent arm strength. This is a balance pose. Remember, what do we work on today? Heel of the hand, external rotation of the hands, shoulder blades, serratus, right? So all that is the same. So come under, you walk your foot. Let me see here, let me show you so you can see it from the side. Right, so you're smashing your right thigh into my right rib cage. You weeble wobble and walk your right foot out diagonally. Your arms are in chaturanga, and you're gonna go forward. Heel of the hands, internal rotation. Heel of the hands, internal rotation, and shift the weight forward. And we're really just balancing. Oh. In Kundalini 2, flying splits. See if you can, if it's easier, if you've been able to do it, is it easier? Are you able to incorporate the pressing in the heel of the hand, external rotation, serratus, all of that, right? Or if you're just hanging out here, just opening, oh, this is just tight. Just opening that like inner thigh is great right there. Nice. Now the next step after that is, can you transition into crow? I haven't figured that part out yet. But that's what we're working on in Jonathan's class. It's like, it's crow to Kundalini 2, Kundalini 2 back to crow without touching the ground. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what that is. Nice. So either way, everyone should feel a really awesome opening into their inner right hip. Cool. All right, coming back into all fours. Coming back into all fours. Where do we go? Tuck the toes and lift the hips, downward facing dog. Again, your down dog should feel entirely different. Like you put on a new, I don't know what's called, like a new suit. It's not a suit. You don't have a down dog suit, but I feel like a renewed down dog with like all the muscles in my back activated and turned on. It's like a whole new pose. Inhaling, left leg comes up towards the sky, swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Drop the back heel down. You're in warrior 2 with the strap. We're going to find your serratus by finding that towel or strap, reaching the arms forward. So the left knee is bent. Our right leg is internally rotated. Palms facing up, arms straight. Shoulder blades rolling back, shoulder blades wrapping around. Bending the elbows at 90 degrees. The elbows lift up so that they're shoulder height and pull. Like you're trying to rip your strap apart, keeping the shoulder blades glued down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, reverse warrior. So lift the left arm up and over. Keep setting your left knee forward. Keep gluing your left shoulder blades down your back, engaging through your back. Side angle. Left arm to against the inner of the left thigh. Reach the right arm. Oh, feel that stretch. Tug of war, right hands, right toes. Send the left knee forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Windmill the hands down. Tuck the left shoulder behind the left knee. Walk the arms out into a T. Drop the back knee down. So the higher that I lift my hips, the more opening I want to get. The more I try to reach the crown of the head behind the left ankle, the more opening I want to get in my hip. So remember, if you want to just hang out here, it's awesome. You're gonna feel this great opening in your left inner thigh. Or you can go ahead and take Kundalini 2. Oh, no, wait, we gotta do the bind first. Sorry. So you can stay here, or you can take the bind with or without, with the strap behind your back, straightening the arms. If you pull the arms straight and back behind you, that's gonna get you into a deeper opening, a deeper hip opening for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then now, if you would like to, you can try Vikrunasana 2. Tuck the shoulders underneath. Remember, squeeze. Squeeze the left inner thigh towards your rib cage. That's your oblique. Pressing into the heel of the hand, external rotation. Oh. So try that. Try that a couple of times. Feel external rotation and pressing the heel of the hand. Separating the shoulder blades. So everything around, all the stuff that we've been working on today around serratus anterior, keep working on that. Nice. That looks good. All righty. Okay. All right. Let's come back to our down dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. I'm going to come back into dolphin. So from down dog, if you can float yourself down, back down to dolphin. Down to dolphin. Float the right leg up towards the sky. You can stay here in dolphin, one-legged dolphin, or maybe you do a couple of hops. And then come on down. Now we're in dolphin, the same thing still applies, right? So we're still pressing into the heel of the hand, right? We're still pressing into the heels of the hand down to the forearm. We're doming our shoulder blades. We're still not shrugging the shoulders. So in dolphin, you can do left leg, maybe your one-legged dolphin here. Can you keep the serratus? And maybe you hop. Maybe you hop into Pincha Mayurasana, peacock feather, or you just hang out in dolphin. Either way, you're strengthening your serratus, either way. Or you can just hang out in dolphin. Do it nice. There we go. Can you feel your serratus working a little differently today in your forearms? If you're in forearm stand, AKA Pincha Mayurasana, you can feel those muscles. Yeah. Nice. Looks really good. Nice. Okay. Okay, so for those of you already at the wall, don't think, just do down dog, hop up the tuck handstand. Don't think, just do. Yeah. So from down dog, you can walk your feet into a short down dog. So walk your feet in closer to a short down dog. Bend your knees, keep your knees together. Serratus, heel the hand, external rotation, hop. Just do it. Don't think, just hop. Just hop. There you go, Charlie. That's it. Look at you, Ashish. What was that? She's just hanging out. Serratus, don't, Anjali, your shoulders are shrugged. Yeah, so you don't have access to your serratus. So don't think, just nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. We're only doing the same thing. Heel of the hand, serratus, external rotation. Strong, straight arms. But that's it. So for you, Anjali, I can see your shoulders are shrugged, right? So you're a little here, right? So if we're here, the serratus can't activate. So just, we're not doing anything different. External rotation, strong, straight arms, squish the oranges. Don't think, just do. If you want to try one more time, just don't think about it. Focus on heel of the hand, external rotation, serratus, no shrugging of the shoulders, really drawing the shoulders down your back. There you go, Uday. Uday's just hanging out. He's like, nice. I see that stacking, Charlie. I can see it. Do you feel it, Charlie? I can see the stacking. It's like you can get it. The hips are right over your shoulders. So, but your legs aren't tucked into a tight tuck, right? It's more like a chair, right? So if you want to, unless you're just done and you're tired. But if you want to try it again, tuck into a tight ball. Focus less on the jumping, more on your serratus. One good, like that, Uday. There it is. That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it, Charlie. That's it. Did you feel that though? Right? Yeah. Yeah. Yay, everybody. Good job. Good job. All right. Okay, did I sufficiently give you like a good enough workout in the compressed amount of time? Everyone looks a little done. Everyone looks like a little toast. Oh, okay, I have to sneeze. Hold on. Oh. Oh. Okay. We spent a lot of time doing this. So, okay, forward folds. We got to like open up our back into some forward folds. Just how do we have? Okay. Let us start with straddle, Upavishta, into a straddle. And we've been doing a lot of, right, like everyone's like really found, everyone has found more activation in the serratus. Doesn't matter what pose you're doing, you found more activation in the serratus. So remember, it does not matter if it's a forward fold, unless you're like, unless it's a passive, right? Unless you're in restorative yoga and it's a passive pose, like really anything forward or backwards, forward bend or backward back bends, your upper body, the serratus, that doesn't change, does not change. No, I don't think, yeah, see, we didn't know, see what happens when we spend a class and we don't work on back opening, right? On days that we do, right? When you've seen this and you yourself probably felt it, right? Like you can, like, oh, there's no problem to reach the toes. But like today we didn't focus on that. Today we focus on something different. It takes an hour, at least an hour plus to open some of these things, right? So we didn't spend that time today. So can't reach my toes. Some days I can when we focus on like the back muscles, the erector spinae or QL muscles, but today we didn't. We didn't do twists. We didn't do a lot of that. We focused really on the serratus. So So flexibility isn't like it's not a binary code, right? 1 or 0. There's a gradient. So we'll come to the other side. You know, straps are great, right? Sometimes these posts we need 15 breaths before we can really get in them. But it's more about like the opening, right? How do we measure success? It's not by, oh, can I touch my toes? Or it's not by, oh, did I nail that pose? That's, you know, that would be a very frustrating way to define success. Instead, can we, you know, redefine and reframe what success means by really finding, you know, some new sensation or something that I learned new about my body, or a new piece of information that I can apply to my body as I, you know, go through movement and mobility. If we define success that way, then it's not so jarring and not so frustrating. Because if you define success on whether you can hit a pose or not, you're gonna be a very frustrated person, and you probably won't. You know, that's why a lot of people who aren't in my class, you know, so you know, it's harder to stick with something if you're defining success as, you know, can you nail crow pose? Because I don't know, it's been like 7 years, and you know, I think it was, to me, it was more of a mindset change. All right, let's do head to knee pose, Janu Shirshasana. If you have a block, you can use your block or not. You can start right with your foot into your inner thigh. Or when you put a block in between your foot and your inner thigh, right? I'm on there's like the medium setting, the slow setting, the longest setting, wherever you feel like you are, that's gonna actually open up your low back more. Oh, someone's having a meltdown. Oh. Oh. So with the block in between, it's gonna really focus the stretching on the opposite back, right? The opposite kidney. My kidney's right here. I think my kidney's right here. The low back on the right side when I have my left leg extended. I'm aiming for the outside of my left pinky toe. With the block, it's giving me that extra challenge. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. And then we'll do all the pigeony good stuff. Ooh. So maybe you need a strap around your toes to aim for the remember, poses like this takes like 15 breaths. Inhale, exhale. Lengthen deeply, inhale, exhale. And the goal is you want to draw out the exhalation as much as possible, because once you stop exhaling, like you really stop, you kind of stop the stretch in its tracks. So the longer you draw out your exhalation, the more you can get out of each of the, you know, the breaths and the stretching before, like, it's like a rubber band, right? You're stretching, but then when you stop exhaling, it stops. You got to like let it retract a little bit before you extend again. So that if you lengthen your exhalations, you can actually lengthen, you get more flexibility because you're lengthening through your breath. So double pigeon, stacking right ankle over left knee, right knee over left ankle. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Oof. If you have a huge space in between your knee and your ankle, you might want to use a pillow and put it right here so that you have something to press down against. Tent the fingertips behind you, roll the shoulders back and down, and really press down. Maybe you're here and this is good enough for you, or you can walk your hands forward. Oof. Oof. If you're sitting a lot during the day working, or actually, it doesn't matter, because if you're on your feet all day, you're using these muscles, but this is really every day double pigeon. right? Because our hips get abused. It gets used and abused all day long from sitting, driving the car, sitting, doing work, running around, chasing kids, and then switching sides. Oof. Oof. Tap the fingertips behind you, roll your shoulders back and down. And also, we work on serratus, but like, hey, if I'm not interested in doing like, crow or these things, what is the benefit of working on your serratus? And that has a lot to do with posture. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, maybe your posture changing, but I can tell it's easier for me to sit upright because the muscles here are stronger, right? Normally we're here. It doesn't feel very good to be here right now. This feels awful, right? Normally we're here and it doesn't bother us, right? We're typing on the computer, working on our stuff. But being here with our serratus active and engaged, kind of take notice of your posture today and see if it's easier for you to lift your chest and really find that good posture. Because this feels like this position, this like good posture feels really strong right now. We've spent the past hour and 15 minutes just engage and focusing and engaging and focusing and engaging and focusing and engaging on the serratus anterior. But can we, I'm sure many of us have taken posture classes or just at work for ergonomics or just, just be told, oh, you should, not slouch. But why can't we do that? It's because we don't have the awareness or the muscle strength. It's not that we can't do it. It's literally, it's a physical thing that needs to be trained, but no one's going around going to the gym or taking classes, or there's no Peloton class or those app classes of being like, okay, we're going to work solely on serratus and your posture. So I think a lot of the ergonomics classes, I feel like, or the ergonomic, when they used to come and do the ergonomics for your desk at work or whatever, they're like, this is what you're supposed to do, but they don't really give you the okay, and now we need to do these 20 exercises for the next however many months to get you to the strengthen those muscles to do that. So since everyone looks so good sitting, like your posture, everyone, I can see everyone sitting up taller today. I don't know if you guys can feel that, but I can definitely see everyone's seated, more when we talk about the spinal alignment, the head over the shoulders, over the spine, over your hips, it just is, a more natural position after today's class. So since you guys are sitting up so nicely, I want to take you down to the mat. If you feel like you need a wheel pose, please do go and find that. If you feel like if you want to open up your back, or bridge pose. Bridge pose, wheel pose. I am a big fan of my yoga wheel. I really, really, really do like the yoga wheel. There's a bunch of things you could do with it, but I really use it for one thing, and that is it really opens up the shoulders and the back. So you can do bridge pose, wheel pose, but there's this is literally the only thing I ever use for it. So I drop my hips down, my elbows are squeezing together. If you have a friend, you can have them rotate. What is this? Externally rotate your elbows. They could take their hands and kind of rotate them this way. But this is I haven't been able to figure out how to open my shoulders this deeply with anything else. You can do, what you can do? You can go to a wall, right? Everybody has a wall. You can go to a wall, right? And you can do external rotation, press the heel of the hands in and drop your chest down. That's a good one. Or, just even on the couch, same thing, right? Drop your chest down, external rotation. It feels so good on the shoulders. Just to keep that opening, right? Just keep that opening, because this action is not, or you could do that in child's pose. It's a little different with the elevated onto a block. You might need 2 blocks because your shoulders is shoulder width apart. I think I like the wall better. I get a better stretch on the wall, right? This one you can also do on your elbows, holding a chalice, and drop your hands down. The other way to do this, to go even deeper, is to put a block in between your hands now. Yeah, like this is, I can't keep my arms apart as much. Right, that's the tightness and the restriction right there. But lots of, ooh, that feels yummy. That feels pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and come to seated. We're gonna close the eyes here, rooting the sit bones into the earth, sitting up nice and tall, finding your posture. Big inhale. Allowing your belly to inflate. Maybe you take your attention to what it feels like when you have to keep your low belly engaged in inhaling, finding space for your breath to go. Comparing that when you can inhale, inflate your low belly. Inhaling, arms up overhead, clasping palms together. Inhale tall, exhale, drawing hands to heart center, bowing forward. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.
Mom!
Yeah, see, so